Okay, this is the explanation for the second version of the two card, two thought routine. Everything in this version is the same, so I'm not going to go over that again. You're going to go through someone looking at a card by riffling through. Okay. Someone just thinks of a card. Now, once that's all done, this is the new procedure. It's different, and I think this is it's more difficult because it involves more sleight of hand. Anyway, this is how this is what I've come up with. Let's pretend the first person. This person has again thought of a 9 of hearts, and let's pretend, like in the other version, the person just thinking of a card has thought of the Queen of Spades. This is what I do. First of all, I look at the person who's just thought of the card, and instead of going through and putting the 9 of hearts in front of them, as in the wrong one ahead, all I do is put any card. I don't know what card they're thinking of. If it's a woman, I might put the Queen of Hearts because they often go for that. But genuinely, I just put any card down. So that is a 4 of Spades, any card. That's in front of the person thinking of the card. Now the procedure again is the same as the first version, whereby you explain one's more difficult, etc., etc. You don't want them to be the same card. And just to make sure, please name your card. I won't touch it anyway. And then they say the Queen of Spades, and you say, oh, so it's exactly the same. And you go back to the second person, and you're thinking of a card. Is it a red card? And they'll go, yes. Oh, right. Now this is the difference. This time, you are going to place the red card, the 9 of hearts, to the second from top. Okay. You're going to find the 9 of hearts. Sometimes, for the more advanced people, I'll just cull that to the top, or the second from top. I'm not going to get into what a cull is. For the beginners out there, don't worry about it. All you're bothered about is getting the 9 to the 9 and the Queen to the top. So you get both cards to the top. I've already got my 9, okay. So now I need my Queen. Maybe to the top. So look, that's an indifferent card on the table. I have the thought of card that was seen, second from top, and I have the genuinely thought of card which they've just announced to the top. Okay? And that's my position. Here is the difference. When I approach the person who thought of the 9, I am actually going to show him the 9. But via a double lift. So I get a double. I've taught this on previous videos. I don't know if I need to go through this, but basically there's 100 ways to do a double lift. But basically you're taking 2 cards as one, and I'm showing the 9. Okay, it could just be a simple matter of turning it over. There's 2 cards like this, or it could be this way. It's one I often use, and then back down that way. Point is, you get a little break on the 2 and show 1. You're showing 2 as 1. And this is the timing. Is your card a red card? Yes. Is it a heart? Yes. I think I may have your card. And you see yours with the watch what I do. I show the double. There's the 9. Is that your card? Wow, that's impressive, yes. I'm going to do a Mexican turn over again, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn the 9 over, take the Queen, which they think is the 9, do the Mexican turn over here to show the Queen, but I don't show this, and as they're looking at that and going, wow, I do a top change here, and we're back to the 9. Now that sounds quite complicated, and I suppose to a beginner that is quite intimidating, because you're doing a double lift, followed by a Mexican turnover, followed by a top change. So this is by far, even though it's not necessarily the most, I'm not saying it's the best of the 3. It's just as strong as the other 2. They're all strong as each other, but this is more difficult. And I'm going to go through it briefly again. Remember, you've got an indifferent card, which you've placed in front of the person who's thinking of a card. Once they've told you their card, as in the first routine, you get their card to the top, and you get the card that they saw the other spectator saw, which you flick through, you get that to second from top, and you do that quite openly. Now, you're concentrating on the guy who picked the 9, and at second from the top, so you're doing a double lift, you get a break under 2 cards, and you say, is this your card? Sorry, you build it up first, is it a red card, heart, and then I suggest you do this sort of double lift here, yeah? Correct. I will post a separate little video for the double lift for the beginners, okay, so don't worry about that, I'll go through that for you. My favourite double lift is sort of this one. I think it looks quite genuine because you're genuinely snapping the card like that. I often use this one as well, which is just pushing 2 forward and turning everything over with the overlap. That's the 9. They're amazed by that because that's the 9. You turn that over, take the single top card, which is now the queen, do the Mexican turnover on the indifferent card, which shows the queen on the table, and then you do a top change here to bring the 9 back. Now, experienced magicians won't have too much of a problem because you've got your natural misdirection because they're looking at this card, yeah? They're looking at this card. They've seen the 9 here, even though you've had to switch it out. So you just do a quick top change here to bring back the 9. I will show a separate video for beginners on the top change as well. So that's the second version. It's very simple. The thought of card comes to the top. The seen card comes to second from top. There's an indifferent card in front of the spectator who's thinking of the card. At the end, you do a double lift. Is that your card? Yes, it is. Which is nice because you're showing the card. That's brilliant because that's your card as well. They're amazed by that. Top change, and we're back to where we were. I think it's all quite clever, but there's yet another version.